Hey VC, what's going on? It's a wonderful Sunday. I'm a little bleary-eyed because I had so much fun with my friend Alan Hicks, who I introduced you all to in my last video last night. We just babbled. He is my longest friend. He's the person I've known in life the longest. He and I go back to kindergarten. He reminded me of things. I reminded him of things. We had both, some things I didn't quite remember, and same for him. For example, his dad and mom were very progressive, and in their neighborhood were the only whites that would allow us to come over and play. And Al recalled to me watching one day me coming over to play, and before I got to their house, he and his mom observing some of their neighbor adults spitting on me, and reminded me how his mom had to clean me up once I got to the house. I had forgotten that, and that was really traumatic. And it's like when he mentioned it, it took a second, and then it came back, and it's like those are things that stay with a person. And for those of you that have been with me long enough to kind of get a flavor of who I am, that's an example of the kind of thing that even though it's in the past, it stays with you. Not only does it scar you, but it informs you, okay? I can get past the scar, but it has informed me, okay? So that's where a lot of my comments and opinions come from, where some of you folks probably don't agree with, where you think I'm being extreme or weird. It comes from life experience. That's why I'll say right on camera here that, you know, the American political system is a sham. But all of my Republican friends who are hopelessly hopeful on Romney, you are fools. Same with folks on Obama. You guys are fools. You're an idiot to think that Romney cares. I mean, maybe something that happens through his office could be beneficial to some of you. But, that's it. Okay, let me move on. It was wonderful. I want to show a few records I kept out that we listened to. Al and I really are quite similar. I will continue to talk about myself in this way, that I always have been drawn to the other oddballs, being one, you know what I'm saying? And Al does actually have Asperger's diagnosed, and there were little things that are still in his life that just, when, I accommodate it as a friend, you know what I'm saying? It's just I've always been that way, and also being kind of a oddball myself, But what I'm getting at is that he was one of my earliest friends that I would freak out about music with. And as you heard him say, I would try, and turn him on to other stuff than the usual. I mean, the usual stuff, there's some good stuff, but it's like last night we start talking about great guitar playing, and Brendan mentions Eddie Van Halen, and I said, Alan, Eddie Van Halen, that's just one amongst hundreds of thousands, And so I played some music for him, not to try to show him who's better than Eddie Van Halen, but to show him is that, Alan, you haven't heard anything, okay? He starts bringing up Eddie Van Halen, Deep Purple, and Styx. Of course, I love those bands and respect them, but it's like, it's 2012 and you still don't know about Opeth or any of the stuff I'm listening to? So we had fun last night, and let me pull it back out because I put it away. I put things away. But he knew about Opeth and did not like what he'd heard because of okay. So I put this on where that's over with. Blew his freaking mind. That was so much fun. It's like, listen to this guitar solo. And you know what I'm saying? Because Al's a music lover to the bone. And I said, that's all I'm saying, Al. It's like, no diss to those classics, but man, you need to be brought up. You need to be brought up to snuff, dude. The other thing that absolutely floored him as I knew it would, because I know of his love of the melodic part of metal, Catatonia. Now I know, River, don't give it to me. I know what you're saying about that Christian stuff. You know, it's only slightly true. There's something in this music that is just not for you, man, because this is fucking killer. And we listened to it last night and turned it up loud, and he did this. Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I have to say. You know, when people, I'll continue, you know, because I feel strongly about what I like, but it's only for me. But when people try to tell me something as though I don't know what I'm hearing, that's what you hear. And no rude disrespect, because I am talking slightly to you, River. You know I love you so much. This record is excellent. For old farts like me, this is the bomb. That really, really made a huge impression on my friend Al last night. Listen to Squack It, because he hadn't been keeping up. You know, he loves Genesis and Yes, and hadn't heard this yet. Awesome. We started listening to music by playing In a Glass House. We're both huge Gentle Giant fans. It wasn't 3 notes and he Gentle Giant. That's fun. That's an old time friend. You know what I'm saying? You know, it was like that. It was awesome. Some records that okay, here's more that we listened to. Bubble Puppy, Hot Smokin' Sassafras. That was a hit on the radio when we were kids. And it was the kind of sound that we wanted. I don't know why we didn't try to cover that. We covered One More Red Nightmare by King Crimson. He reminded me of that. I forgot that. And Panama Red by New Riders of the Purple Sage. Yeah. Well, listen to this. Phantasmagoria, Curved Air. Now, this is a hit and miss album. It's not an album that's good all the way through. And it's the kind of album that I think you have to play it at the right time. And I don't know when that is. It's kind of a creepy album, if you ask me. Once again, this is one where it only was playing for a few seconds, and then he heard Sanja Christina. Oh yeah, Curved Air, you know. Not quite the same is one of the best songs on the album. But really enjoyed playing that. Of course, he's a huge Deep Purple fan, and he reminded me, this goes back again to my childhood. We were really poor as a kid, when I was a kid. And he and I saw Alice Cooper together, the original Alice Cooper. We traveled down to Lincoln. It's one of the few shows we saw together. And then he thought I had gone to Deep Purple with him, but I didn't. And the reason was, I said, because Deep Purple was the next week. You know, back then, I don't even know how I was able to afford to go see Alice Cooper, but I made it. But we listened to this, a lot of this, and this is our roots. This is our roots. Al is no slouch when it comes to music. He had this music improvisation company. I remember this. We were in TV and television production class together in high school. I forgot that. And a couple other classes. And I remember him, now he reminded me that he brought this to school to play for the band teacher. This is a music improvisation company with Jamie Muir, Dereck Bailey, Evan Parker, Hugh Davies, Christine Jeffrey. It's a very impenetrable type of improvisation. And he blew the teacher's mind. When he told me this, it all came back to me. So we just touched on some of this last night. He lost his copy somehow. And that's mainly, and then we just talk. We didn't listen to this, but this was sitting out, and he reminded me how he was one of the people that I earned this ringware with. I just made him listen to this, and again, he's a guitarist, you know, Tolonen. So that visit was just awesome. I was still vibing on Big Star, even after everything. Big Star is just the name is appropriate, you know, Fred. You know, you have big star of a knowledge of music, and I admire you. I mean, I have a lot of love and respect for everyone in the vinyl community. You're one of the people that just I yet, and I vibe. And so I was pulling some more records, thinking of Fred. And one I showed to Miguel online, asking if he had maybe seen this band, Patrick Forgas, Cocktail Forgas. This guy is a drummer, singer, composer. This is the only album I have by him. But this is fantastic. He sounds like Robert Wyatt on his vocals. You can hear the Robert Wyatt influence on his drumming. This is fan-frickin-tastic. Something else I wanted to pull, and I will. Just real quick, folks. A couple things. Just things I'm thinking about. I haven't played in a while, but I want to. Colette Magny. I don't have anything by her, but Fred had mentioned Brigitte Fontaine, and I used to have the record she made with Art Ensemble, and like an idiot sold it. But I do have L'Incendie by Areski and Brigitte Fontaine. And this is real cool. I haven't played it in a while, but it's like there's parts of it where it's almost kind of like pop music, but it's not. Cool. Very cool. That reminds me of the thing. And I'm going to see if I can pull it right quick, guys. Just give me a second, okay? That was the other connection I wanted to make. If I can just find... Yeah, here it is. Good. Fred had mentioned the French label Sarava. I don't have anything on the Sarava label. But I had always wondered what this was about. As you know, I'm a huge fan of Yellow Magic Orchestra and all of their stuff. The drummer, Yukihiro Takahashi, one of his earliest solo albums is this, Sarava. And look where he's at on the back. So that helps me to understand what the reference is. That famous label. And you found something on that label, Big Star. Wow. I don't have anything on Sarava. Sure would like it. And the last thing is unrelated to Fred, but it came to mind because, again, last night, Todd Wilson, I'll say his name, on Facebook was posting some amazing records. He has a wonderful turntable. I just love it when he posts pictures with the weight and everything. And he was playing a couple of records by Japanese bands I don't have. And then another person commented, it's like, why doesn't this thread have 100 comments? Because it's amazing and it's like jaw-dropping, you know, it was a jaw-dropping record. And I just said, well, I've just got a very few titles and that stuff is hard to find and super expensive, you know. People in the VC do like that Japanese stuff. This is one of the few that I have, which is a reissue on Phoenix, Flower Traveling Band. These kind of records are the main reason I lament not having a job. I don't lament not having a job because when I had the job, I was out of my mind and miserable. But I had the money to buy the records, and now I don't. That's I've been saying that a lot, folks, because I'm working on raising energy and consciousness towards my next move to change that, okay? And one of the ways that I do it is what I'm doing, is I think out loud as well as I plot and plan. And so that's why I keep bringing it up, is that, yeah, due to the recession, depression, whatever you want to call it, my little bit of retirement money is just, it's evaporating like water on a sizzling hot day. And so I'm going to have to do something, you know, next year. I can finish this year out, but next year I've got to bump up my income. You know, I may have to try to get another job, but we'll see. Anyway, the other thing I want to share, because it's going on 14 minutes here, is that, did I mention it? Today I will be shooting a Conduits video, and I pulled the record to show Al, because for a minute I was going to try to see if he wanted to be an extra in the video, but he's heading back today, so no. I don't know where the record is, but, oh, okay. Yeah, here it is, Conduits. Now, what's nice is I'm one of the leads in the video. I actually have a role. I'm not an extra. I'm one of the I'm one of the main characters. I've never worked with the director. We're doing it on a no budgeter. You know, that's how you do things now, no budget. So I have an idea of what we're going to do. It is for the song Misery Train, which is one of my favorites on here, and it's the song that they released on the double split with us last year. So we do that today, and I'm supposed to play this bent, strange preacher. Doesn't that fit? You know, leading a cult. Should be interesting. I'm honored that Jenna asked me to be one of the main characters in the video. You know, it's just a little thing, but it means so much to me personally. And then next week they head out over to Europe on their European tour. Wish them the best of luck. Some other records that are sitting out that I either played last night or was talking about or was gonna play that I haven't shown recently here that I may have shown online is My Bloody Valentine, You Made Me Realize. This is an original 12-inch on Creation. What is there to be said about this band? If you know them, if you know the music and their sound, you know what it's all about. Was talking about Roz Williams and Gitane online last night with Brett and L. Jeff Klikowski. Jeff, get your ass on here and make some videos, man. I'm digging your vibe big time. That's another brother from another planet like me, you know what I'm saying? I'm so glad to have met you, Jeff, you know what I'm saying? You know, your collection blows my mind. But we were talking about Christian death. We were talking about the fact that Rick signed this, although people think he's not on the album. He's uncredited. And that's what he told me. He said, I'm on here. I didn't get credit. So we were talking about that. Before Al got over, I was just pulling records. I do that sometimes. And I have this single by American Tibbs, who were in Adam and the Ants, called Call of the Wild. I ended up with this, probably getting it cheap, you know, for $1. But it was pretty enjoyable last night, actually. Call of the Wild. I enjoyed that. Let's go over here. A couple more things. A couple more things, all right? I do not like this song and then see, that's the cheesy part of metal that I respect you guys that like it, but for me it is like a cartoon. But when he plays the guitar, Yngwie Malmsteen, just everybody be quiet and sit down and listen. This man, you know, his technique, and also it's not just technique. That man has some feeling in his playing, okay? And once again, it's like everyone has an opinion, and it's like we just need to just be able to be okay with opinions. You know, we're never all going to agree. I love his playing. I hate his music. Cheesy ass fucking music. Tell the singer to shut up. See, that's just me. But I bet some of you are surprised to see I got an Yngwie Malmsteen. I tell you what, if I could sit here in live time for a couple hours, and we could interact, and people would yell at me, just give me a second. I can show you. I got all kinds of stuff in this house. That's why I was kind of babbling about maybe being considered a dilettante, because I want to know about everything, and I'm not an expert on any one thing. But I have some of every kind of popular genre music in this house. Not every genre of music in the world, but popular genres, you know, all, and including all the subgenres. I've probably got something in every genre, either on vinyl, CD, cassette, or video. I'm just an absolute, I'm obsessed. Another 12-inch that I happened to pull because I forgot how much I like this guy. Ken Ishii. Ken Ishii. This is getting into that techno stuff. He is one of the best. I've got a few CDs by him too, but I pulled this and popped it on, and it was like, oh man, we got to play this whole thing. Haven't played this again, but when looking at it, I remembered this is Low Noise. This was Thomas Dolby's backing band back in the day, and this is them covering the Joni Mitchell song Jungle Line. And it's really good. Matthew Seligman, Kevin Armstrong, Thomas Dolby is on here, and JJ, whoever JJ is. So there's some more records for you. Oh, here's another record. I'm sitting here that, this is one that was a cutout when I was a kid, but it was one of the higher price cutouts, so I could never get it. I finally got it a few years ago, and this is terrible. Green. And this is their second album, To Help Somebody. I finally ended up with a copy of their first album on, how do they end up making two records? On Atco, subsidiary of Atlantic. Now, above and beyond the fact that this is the type of style that I don't like, I think this is just terrible. Any of you guys in this band watching this, can you, I mean, I'm serious when I say these things, guys. You never know who's watching, okay? And I would like to know, what were you guys doing when you made this record? Because I think this is terrible. This is awful. And you made 2 albums for Atco. What am I missing here? Sometimes I like for people to tell me, what is I'm missing? And thankfully, many times I learned something, and there's also other times when it's like, what I heard is what I heard. It's trash. It's crap. So that's one. Okay. Have a good day, everybody.